I'm really grateful to be here and to be able to introduce these three wonderful individuals. I've been following them for, I guess, 3 years now almost. Maybe almost 3 years. So I'm not going to totally get the order right here, but I'm just going to start with my notes here. Fik Özmeral was born and raised in Istanbul, Turkey. She moved to London and then to LA at the age of 19 to pursue atelier-style classical realism. She received her bachelor's at Laguna College of Art and Design in atelier-style academic painting and worked closely with Joseph Todorovic. I think I got that right? She exhibited her works nationally and she was the recipient of numerous grants and fellowships. She recently received her Master of Art at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and is currently working toward her MFA at UW-Madison, which is residing with her husband and their two Boston Terriers, Franklin and Louie. So I'm going to do all three of them. So J. Lee Garcia is an artist born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Garcia received a BFA in printmaking from the University of North Texas in Denton and is currently pursuing an MFA at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Through the lens of her biracial heritage, Garcia aims to shed light on contemporary cultural and environmental issues surrounding undocumented immigration of, and I'm going to also, hopefully I get this right, Latinx people. Is that right, please? Okay, thanks. Jason Kartez was born in Moscow, Idaho. He grew up in Pullman, Washington, in College Station, Texas, and Freeport, Maine. His junior year of high school, Kartez received a scholarship to attend a semester exchange program at the Oxbow School in Interdisciplinary Arts High School in Napa Valley, California. Jason attended the California College of Arts and Crafts and Alfred University and holds a BFA in glassblowing and neon from Alfred. After years of being a glassblower, Kartez has shifted his focus to conceptual-based sculpture, drawing, printmaking, writing, and making his own comics. In his work, Kartez takes a critical look at popular culture and how it reflects and interacts with society. He says popular culture is like a shadow being cast by light, passing by an object on time and space. It acts as an index as to what the culture in which it came from value, or more truthfully, what that culture fears it might lose. Just as shadow, as an image, is only a distorted representation of the object that cast it, popular culture is distortion of the culture it came from. So again, I'm just really happy to introduce these three fine artists and join me in welcoming them all at once together.
Hi, my name is Jason Kartez. I'm originally from Freeport, Maine. This is the best place to get fresh fish in southern Maine. And this is the second best place to get a lobster roll in southern Maine. When I was a junior in high school, I received a scholarship to go to the Oxbow School of Arts in Napa Valley, California, where I started studying printmaking, painting, drawing, and math and science. I originally started out as a painter and did sculpture as well. I went to undergrad at the California College of Arts and Crafts in Oakland, San Francisco, California, and I've always been interested in popular culture and the old versus the new. Imagery from popular culture. This is Things That Kill You. It's about 200 cigarettes. And this is made out of wax, human hair, and fake toenails. After 2 years in California, I saw glass blowing. And so I learned how to do that and went to Alfred University, and my work changed and started to look like this. I got really into a process called marini, which is an Italian glass technique where you layer colors into a stick and pull it and cut it into cross sections. This is the Lord's Prayer by Richard Marquess, who's one of the best marine makers. And it was someone I was looking at when I made this. My undergrad, because I was really thinking about how I was going to get a job. This is also from my senior year at Alfred University. And another one. Need a job, McDonald's. Made a lot of grenades, zebra grenades, patriotic grenades, zebra apple, McDonald's apple. After I graduated Alfred, I took a class with Richard Marquess, and on the far right is Amy Rupert, my first class teacher ever. The middle is Richard Marquess, and the left is Brian Pike, another very talented glassblower. So I started making work that looked like this, kind of inspired by their work. I also moved to Seattle, Washington in 2010, and I got an internship, but I also was working a job in a factory making blown glass candle votives with names like Sunshine and BFF. And that really inspired my use of color. So I was making work that looked like this, and looked like this. An artist who I've always really been into is Wayne White, who is a painter. He also worked on Pee-wee's Playhouse making the puppets for the TV show, and was a figure in popular culture. So I was looking at his work paintings when I made this work, which was right around the time that my mom died. It had to do with like going from one emotion to another in kind of like a bomb of emotions. I also lived and worked at the Pilchuck Glass School, 45 minutes north of Seattle, Washington in the wintertime, where I'd be the only person on the campus. This is what the glass studio looks like in the winter. It was started by Dale Chihuly. Dale Chihuly is a graduate of UW Madison's glass program, which is the first glass program. I also worked as a hired assistant, and this is an image of me making my own. So eventually I got priced out of being able to afford to live in Seattle from Amazon hiring like 25,000 new employees. So I moved to Asheville, North Carolina. This is my favorite restaurant in Asheville. And I worked as a gardener, and I also worked in a tourist glass blowing shop doing make-your-own paperweights, and had a glass production business where I would sell stuff at like craft fairs. That brings me to my first year of graduate school, where I came in thinking about like iconic imagery from American culture, like white picket fence, inside versus outside. Social media. This is kind of based off of Nanjing Pike's closed loop piece, Selfie Sphere. I made its own social media page for it, but it didn't really take off. Another piece that has to do with inside versus outside. Inside the glass piece, which is mirrored, there's a camera that projects onto the cell phone screen. I also started working with image and etching glass in a process called vitriography. Simultaneously, I started to take classes with Linda Berry and do my own comics, pretty much from the second semester of grad school. And in the classes, I started to realize that when we would do reflection ratings, I would go to a certain like physical space from my past. So this is just the scene of my mom slaughtering chickens in Texas when I was growing up. I also started keeping a pretty serious sketchbook and doing that as a practice. I I've been looking at comics since I was about 8, when I would sneak into my dad's office and read his underground comics, stuff like Love and Rockets. And this is one of my favorite comics and ideal color palette. And Daniel Close, the author who wrote and drew Art School Confidential, is also another favorite. Alba Arbach is someone I really look up to because she's so interdisciplinary and also comes from a design sensibility, and inspired this piece, which is titled Adolf Mises Wrong, based off of a piece of writing called Ornament and Crime. In the middle is a glass blowing technique called Rotticello. It's a Rotticello plate, and I used that to create the font and the pattern for the font. Another artist who I'm really inspired by is Wendy Moriyama, and this is her Mickey Mouse chair. And Fiasco is a craft artist who moves into social practice and Ai Weiwei. So the summer of 2016, I received the Horatio Alger Jr. Fellowship for the Study of American Pop Culture at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, Illinois. What it was looking at dime novels, which is the precursor to the comic book from about 1890 to 1925. So I was there to capture the imagery from covers, and there was lots and lots of imagery like this and that, with titles like Work and Win or Fame and Fortune. This is another image from a show in Chicago of the publication Puck, and it's a picture of an apparatus that speaks privately at an opera. And that inspired this piece, which is an apparatus to allow us to speak freely in Trump's America, performed with guest professor Faisal Abdul-Allah. And I was a performance where we had a conversation about politics in front of a group of people, but our voices were muffled. And this was December of 2016, so it was before 45 was elected, and really before all the fake news stuff got really overwhelming. This is another iteration of the piece, reimagining the apparatus in its original state from 1890, trying to recreate it, what it would look like today. So when I was doing my research, I noticed a lot of Edison tickers. And when I saw the show at Puck in Chicago, there was actual Edison tickers. And that inspired me to start to make the shape behind the Edison ticker and use screen print to put some of the imagery from the research onto it. So these are bell jar prints. And there are 4 color screen print separations. So another screen print on glass filled with water called Constantly Changing Perspectives. So when I came into grad school, this image was on my mind. I took this picture in 2007 at the Pizza Hut across from the pyramids in Giza. And I started to work with it, etching it and breaking it into glass. This is a piece of it installed, casting a shadow, and another version is a series of screen prints. And it got me thinking about the old versus the new and images on top of each other. This is a shot from my Master of Arts show here, Please Stay Off Glass, and was based off of a perfect lawn of grass in Chicago with a sign that I recreated. This piece is called Fences. So I also made a comic for my MA show. It was kind of like a user's guide to the work. And involve mixed media. And then I started thinking about American popular culture versus like Renaissance culture. This is Idiocracy after Bosch, and it's based off of Cure of Folly by Anonymous Bosch. I did a series based off Peter Bruegel's Seven Deadly Sins. This is anger, envy, gluttony, lechery, pride, sloth, avarice, and avarice again is extreme pressure. This piece is called The Prisons That We Make, and it's screen print and white. So looking towards my MFA show here, I've started writing a book in graphic novel form, taking a look at events from 1995 up until the present, from pop culture set against personal stories. These are just some excerpts. If you didn't know, in 1985, 45 did a commercial with his newly ex-wife because he cheated, trying to sell pizza at Pizza Hut. Another excerpt from the comic. I'm also using my personal life as the basis for it, partly, even though it's a fiction. Another thing I'm doing is going back into some of the research imagery from 2016 and reimagining apparatuses that could be made as reactions to it. So this is apparatus that colludes comfortably, or police snuggie. And this is, so I considered taking this slide out, what happened Monday, but I kind of think that it's important. This is apparatus to conceal and carry, and yeah, I don't know. If you don't know, Wisconsin does not require an individual to obtain license or permit for shotguns, rifles, or handguns. As of November 1st, 2011, you're allowed to get a conceal and carry permit. This is another apparatus to speak discreetly. And this is a really good bowl of ramen in Madison. Thanks.